Hi, Mark Yegge here. I'm a wealth architect, and I'm going to talk about what happens if you get an inheritance. And first of all, let me tell you my condolences for the loss of the person who made that inheritance possible for you. But now let's turn it from a negative into a positive and say, what are 6 steps that you can do to ensure that that inheritance works out in the best possible way that the deceased and you will be happy about? Okay, so I help 7 and 8 figure investors play offense and defense by creating safe, reliable income. And a few of them have come to me with inheritance questions. And those are some good questions because sometimes you're not ready to handle that money mentally, and mindset is a lot of the game when it comes to investing and money. And so you have to be able to handle your emotions and your mindset. And so there are a few steps that I want to talk about in this quick video that are going to just describe what you're going through and then also the steps that you can take to move through it. So first of all, you have to think, wow, I've got some inheritance. First of all, be grateful about the inheritance because that person who died could have chosen anybody to give that money to and they chose you. So be grateful, and that's going to allow for you to open up your heart to what's good about the inheritance and about the memory of your loved one. So the first question I like to ask, and I think you should ask, is what would the deceased have wanted for you? Don't worry about yourself and don't try to be, putting in your own filters, but what would the deceased have wanted for you? That's a really great question to ask. Maybe they would have wanted you to go out and enjoy your life, or maybe they would have wanted a college fund for your kids, or maybe they would have wanted you to be financially secure, or maybe they just said, you know what, when I die, I want them to have a big old party. Whatever it is, I want you to think about what the deceased would have wanted for you. If you had a conversation with the deceased prior to them dying, then so much the better. So start with that question and then sit with that for a little bit. Don't make decisions right away. So step 2 is to just hold off on making any rash decisions right away because you want to take this time to not only get your mind right and get the emotions right, but you want to mourn the deceased and you want to allow time for things to settle as you go through your process. And then you're going to need to make decisions because you're going to need to start doing something with that money. We'll talk about that in just a second. So the third thing is you'll probably want to set aside some kind of an emergency fund. If the deceased died and they thought, what I want to do is make sure this person is secure, then you probably should have an emergency fund. Most people build up a fund that if they lose their current income, they can live between 3 and 6 months. And so that might be a goal for you, is to build that emergency fund. And so the next thing, though, is step number 4, and that is that you need to realize that you must make a decision soon, because the longer you put off making that decision, the more buying power you lose with that money. So I had a client come to me a couple of years ago, and they had $2 or $3 million. I think it was about $2.5 million, actually, if I remember right. And they just were frozen. They didn't know where to put the money. They didn't know what to do with it. They didn't know if it should go to real estate or gold or Bitcoin or the stock market, or if they should just put it in the bank. And the first thing I'm going to say is, it's okay to sit in the bank for a couple of months. I mean, while you're kind of going through your mourning and your situation, but don't let it sit there forever, because if you're not astute with money, what's going to happen is inflation is going to eat it up. I don't know if you know this, but cars are not getting cheaper. Housing is not getting cheaper. Groceries are not getting cheaper. Things are going up in value. And so you need to be ahead of that. If you just let the bank sit there, I don't care what interest rate they're paying you. They're not paying you enough to keep up with inflation. And so every year you lose money. It's a guarantee. You lose money to buying power. You lose money to the inflationary pressures that are in your account. And so even if it's 1% that the bank is paying you and inflation is 3 or 4% in buying power loss, well, that's a guaranteed loss of 2 or 3%. So that's not very safe, right? It's not very sound investing. So realize that you need to make a decision fairly soon. And then the 5th thing is you need to devise a plan. Now, what I always tell people when they have an inheritance is if they're not savvy with money, and many of my clients are savvy with money, they've just never had a big chunk of money come in, some of them. But you need to start sitting down and devising a plan. Now, let me tell you what's going to possibly happen. You're going to be swarmed by all kinds of people in the financial business. And if you watch some of my other videos, you'll hear me talk about what happens in the financial business. But the Wall Street, which is the background that I have, is really run by salespeople and lawyers. The salespeople are there to gather your assets, and you're a prime candidate with an inheritance. And the lawyers are to prevent the firms from getting sued by managing your assets and losing money or doing anything that does not serve your best interest. And so you need to know that. You need to be aware that they're going to be coming after you. You're a prime target, and they're going to be telling you all these beautiful things about compounding and asset allocation and diversification, dollar cost averaging, all these plans. Now, I want you to know one statistic. According to a study that was done a couple of years ago, there's about 3.4% in fees that are paid on invested amounts. Guess who those are paid for by? You, the investor. They're not paid for by the brokerage firms. Those brokerage firms build these beautiful buildings with 3.4% minimum of investments. Yeah, they're going to tell you they're going to just manage your money for a 1% fee, going to charge you small commissions. They're going to put you in low load mutual funds, no load mutual funds, or maybe loaded mutual funds. All these, are different tactics and strategies. But the bottom line is there's all kinds of hidden fees that you may or may not know about. And know that that person who's coming after you is probably not really well trained in financial planning, unless they're a financial planner, and a financial planner, certified financial planner. They have risk aversion training. They don't have really how to build a wealth plan so that you can live in a vibrant environment, a vibrant life, create the life that you want to do. Passive income before you're 65, not after you're 65, so that you can enjoy your life. And so know that those people are generally salespeople. They're called financial planners, financial consultants, stockbrokers, maybe even CPAs sometimes. But I want you to be really careful about who you give your money to, who you give your trust to. I have a saying, never give up your power in your health, your wealth, or your time. And this certainly stands true right now. So what do? You're stuck. Here's Mark telling you to make a decision. And here's Mark also telling you not to make too rash a decision. So the answer I usually tell clients is to gather information. Find out what fits with you, who you trust, who makes you feel good, who makes you feel right. Find out everything you can about what they're going to charge you, how they're going to make their money, how they're going to get paid. Now, one thing that I think that everybody should know, whether it's an inheritance or any other kind of wealth plan, is that there's a lot of things that you don't know. It's always my job to try to open people's eyes to what Wall Street is up to what other possibilities out there. Sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. Now, here's what I'll tell you. You're gonna get approached by a lot of people, and maybe they're gonna tell you, oh, you need to be safe with this money. You need to take your $1 million inheritance and make sure you don't lose it. So we're gonna allocate your money between, among a few really key assets, some diversified exchange traded funds or ETFs. We're going to put it in some mutual funds, and we're going to maybe do an annuity so that you'll always get paid if if something happens for the rest of your life. And we're going to try to get you into something that's going to maybe make 6 or 7 or 8%, something safe. We don't want to lose your money, and they scare you, right? And they scare you because they don't know often what is out there. And so, I believe that you should, keep your feet on the ground, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't swing, right? Don't stand there and just watch the strikes come over the plate. Take action in your life. And by taking action, I will tell you, here's an option for you. Maybe you didn't even know this, but my hedge fund last year produced 139%. Oh yeah, I got lucky, sure. And the year before it produced 101%. Yeah, I got lucky 2 years in a row, sure. On average, one of my hedge funds makes 40% a year. On average, the other one's intended and set up to make more. And so there are ways without taking huge amounts of risk to create income. That income helps you play defense. But you know what? I can't really tell people this on the street. Most people don't believe me because Wall Street has indoctrinated us that 6 to 7 to 8% is safe. But anything over that, oh my God, they must be taking huge amounts of risk. Let me tell you, we take risk. We just don't take huge amounts of risk. And I would say that example that I talked about a second ago about putting your money in the bank and guaranteeing you're going to lose money, if somebody's advising you to do that, that's the riskiest possible thing you could do. It's a guaranteed loss. Now, you get the return of your capital, sure, but it buys much less than when you put it in. So you want to get decent return on your investment without taking crazy risks. So I'm not going to tell you to put your money into a lottery and hope you, buy enough tickets that you're going to win, because that's foolish. And that's what a lot of people think is risky, right? And it is risky. The chances of you winning the lottery are pretty slim. But there's a way to put your money into a system and use the other people's thirst for gambling. And there's a lot of gamblers on Wall Street. Use them to pay you in any transaction, especially let's look at a Vegas transaction, right? The stock market is not Las Vegas, but a lot of people think it is. And in a lot of ways, maybe it is. But they'll look at a transaction in Las Vegas. There's the house and there's the gambler. Okay, there's nothing wrong with either one of them. Both of them coexist for each other. The house doesn't exist without the gambler, and the gambler doesn't exist without the house. The question is, though, who has the building? Who has the beautiful building with the beautiful hotel rooms and the beautiful showrooms and the beautiful lobbies and the beautiful casino? It's the house. You think the house built that on a bunch of winners? No. It built that on a bunch of losers, the gamblers, the people that know, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas and I'm going to take $1,000 with me and I'm going to lose it. They know that, and they're okay with that. And the house figures out ways to get you out of that. Now, the edge is to the house. It's not a big edge, but they just know that if you sit at that table long enough, they're going to take your money. We do the same thing in the stock market. And that produces returns of 8 to 20% minimum, I'll say, without taking a huge amount of risk. We call it safe, reliable income. But that's just one possibility. I'm not saying you need to do business with me. I'm saying there are other ways to do it, but you need to open your eyes to it. You're going to be reading Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey and David Bach and all of these financial gurus, and they're going to tell you to save your way to success or cut back on the number of lattes that you take in, or scrimp your way to abundance. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to put some money in an allocation of things. So I always say, diversify among asset classes. And maybe you want to do this with your inheritance, but within an asset class, concentrate. So I kind of believe that people should have some real estate. Maybe not a lot. Maybe it's just your home, which, by the way, is not an investment. It's just a place to live. Okay. And, have some real estate. That's great. And have it hopefully being income producing real estate. Number 2, you should have money in stocks and options and bonds and financial instruments and intangibles, because those are the things that help you hedge inflation and get ahead of inflation if you have a good investing system. Have some money in alternative investments, things like gold, Bitcoin, silver, platinum, oil, things like that, commodities, little alternative investments. Maybe have a little exposure to some international investments, because the United States and Canada is not the only game in town. There are other investments around the world that pay really, really well, and we don't even know about them here in the United States most of the time. So allocate among those asset classes. But within the asset classes, if you're in real estate, for example, don't own residential homes and strip malls and car washes and parking garages. Get good at something. If it's apartments, you're going to start to build the number of apartments you have. If it's in the stock market, figure out a system that you want to invest in that's safe and reliable and that's going to give you those good returns. And shy away from the lazy way of putting money away, which is, let's just put some money in a mutual fund and diversify among a bunch of average assets. And then you'll get an average return of 6 or 7 or 8 or 10% or whatever. I mean, the stock market does 9% in the last 100 years. You better be able to do way better than that. Otherwise, you're just average. And I don't know about you, but I didn't wake up this morning going, oh, I'm so average. I can't wait to be average today, right? So watch out for that. And then finally, I would say the last step is this. Think about the deceased and celebrate their life. Celebrate the things that you remember about them. And by doing that, what I'm going to say is that you should have some fun. I'm sure that when they left you that money, if they're looking down, they're saying, you know what? I want them to go enjoy their life. And if you can remember them and you can have a celebration about them in whatever way it is for you, I think that's a healthy thing. And so go back through those steps. Realize, let's go. Number 1, I'll recap. What would the deceased have wanted for you? Number 2, don't make hasty decisions. Don't need to make a decision right away. Number 3, you'll want to build an emergency fund. Number 4, you want to realize that you need to make a decision soon, because the powers that be, inflation specifically, are going to be eating away at that inheritance. And you want to make sure you put that money to work and get it going as soon as possible. Then the fourth one or the fifth one is to devise a plan. Figure out what your plan is going to be. Maybe it's you're going to take half of it and put it in the stock market, and the other half you're going to pay off your mortgage, or you're going to build that emergency fund, or whatever it is for you. You're going to put it in the stock market, and you'll call me and you'll invest with me. Whatever the case is. That's just a little suggestion. And then finally, you're going to celebrate the life of the deceased and have some fun. So I hope those help you when it comes to what you can do with your inheritance. Again, my condolences for losing the person that was important to you in your life that gave you this inheritance. But now let's make the best of the possible solution, make the best of what they would have wanted for you, and turn it into something really, really positive.
How can we help you? 5 ways. First, subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell below to make sure you get our new video the minute it comes out. Second, get a copy of my book, Hacking Money, and you'll learn a system for creating wealth through passive income so that you can build the lifestyle of your dreams. Click where it says book below. Third, if you want to hit the ground running, or if you want to learn how to invest from someone with over 44 years of investing success, click the products and programs link below. Fourth, if you want to accelerate your path to increase your wealth, consider joining one of my ecosystems. I have mentorships and mastermind programs for learning that are practically guaranteed to make you a successful investor. Or if you want to travel the world and learn from me and other multimillionaires on the path to greatness, you should consider joining my elite mastermind group. Fifth, if you want some help right now because you have a burning issue, you need something solved, you want to create massive passive income, or you want to accelerate your results in your investments, or maybe you just want personalized mentorship to build the lifestyle of your dreams, we can help. Maybe you're a multimillionaire who just wants someone else to handle some of your investing decisions and you want to invest in one of my funds. Whatever it is for you, click on the link below where it says Become a Client. All those links are below. You create your world, nobody else. And remember, never give up your power in your health, your wealth, or your time.